The benefit to being a stay-at-home mom is that I get to spend time with my kids all day long. Right? Hi, Christy here with Moms Find Truth. And I would say one of the ultimate struggles of stay-at-home motherhood is that there's so much going on. There's a messy house to clean and organize and declutter. There's food to be made. There's a hubby to take care of. There might be a business to run on the side. There's so many things pulling us in so many different directions. But we're home. And our kids are home. And so when we're home with these amazing blessings, we should be 100% present and interacting with them throughout the day. But then all of these other things don't get done. And they distract us. These things, the home and the hubby and the food and all of the things that aren't getting done are now distracting us during the day because we know they're not getting done. But if we go and get them done, then we're not spending 100% present time with our children. But when we're doing this with our children, then we're distracted by the things. Then at the end of the day, we're not really doing either of them very well, if at all. So who here has ever heard of Little House on the Prairie? I'm specifically talking about the books, but there was also a show a while back that came out based on the books. But let's stick with the books for right now. So if you have not heard of Little House on the Prairie, Laura Ingalls Wilder, then let me give you just a brief summary of what's going on. So Laura Ingalls was born, I believe, in the mid-1800s, and her family, she had her mother, father, she wrote the books on when she was a little girl, and so she had her mother and her father, and then 2 sisters, I believe. And the family had to get in a covered wagon and move, find new land, so there'd be, enough hunting around and they could establish their own area. And so they built their own log cabin and had to, grow their own food, fend for themselves, were miles from their closest neighbor, had to deal with Indians coming by. And she basically wrote about their everyday life. But because it is so foreign to ours, it's incredibly interesting to read. And just an adventure of a life, really. And so it's a series. I strongly encourage it for you and your kids. A great read. But anyway, her mother, Ma Ingalls, I forget her actual name. She's referred to as Ma throughout the book, is just like my hero. I'm sure Laura, when she grew up, was great at being a wife and mom and homekeeper as well, but that's not what her books are about, so I really have no idea. But Ma, she was awesome. I mean, to me, when I'm looking at what kind of wife, mom, and keeper of a home I want to be, there's Proverbs 31 woman, and then there's Ma Ingalls. It's just like, I just got to look to them both because they're both so different from what we often experience today, but such a lofty, amazing goal. But one thing we see as we read the Little House on the Prairie books is what day-to-day life looked like at that time. And I don't know that a lot of the things that stood out to me in those books was really that foreign for the majority of history. So the Pa was going out and hunting or working the land, or maybe, other fathers were working jobs. They were going out providing for their family through bringing in money or bringing in food or whatever that looked like. The mother, Ma, was working, just getting a meal on the table. It was killing the animal. It was skinning the animal or defeathering the animal, gutting the animal and cooking it from scratch. It was taking milk, going and getting it out of the cow and turning it into butter. And yes, there's homesteaders now, and I get that, it's great, but even homesteaders today, to fill in some of the gaps with ingredients, can order them. They don't have to literally grow everything. For a lot of in Little House on the Prairie, the Ingalls family, they could go to the store every once in a while, but it was miles away, and they had to go on a horse or in a wagon. And for winters, they were pretty much out of luck. If they didn't have it in storage, they weren't eating it. Also, just cleaning up from a meal. They didn't have, not only did they not have dishwashers, they didn't have running water. They had to go fetch the water, bring it inside, wash the dishes, get rid of the water. And then just think about washing clothes. Even like keeping the house clean. It talks about in the book that for a while they didn't have a wooden floor. They had a dirt floor. Ma was so intent on keeping the home well that she would sweep the dirt floor. Let's just pause for a moment and think about what we're sweeping when we sweep our floor. We're sweeping up the dirt. So what was Ma sweeping up? I would like to know. But she was, because she was trying to do her job well. And she wanted everything to be neat and orderly. And so seeing the extent that Ma had to go to accomplish literally every task that we take for granted today. But yet she gave zero cop-outs, and she gave zero excuses for, maybe our home's not going to be that clean because, our floor's made out of dirt. I feel like if that were the case today, we would say, Ma, you've got a good cop-out there. You can let it slide. But she was not okay with that. She took responsibility for everything getting done and getting done well. And that was a bit of a tangent. That's just helping to explain why she is one of my heroes. Okay, back onto today. The other side of that is that because every task in that home took so much effort to get done, do you think Ma Ingalls sat around engaging and interacting and playing with her kids all day? No, she did not. Now, she was with her kids throughout the day, and her kids were helping her throughout the day. So part of the necessity of everything taking so much effort is that everyone had to work towards that. There were no shortcuts. There were no machines that help you out. They were all needing to work together to get it done. So bottom line, for the majority of history, just getting the daily necessities done, such as maintaining the home, cooking the meals, doing the laundry, bringing food in to the home, was a full-time job for the entire family. The fact that we even have the availability to sit here and say, should I get necessary work done today, or should I spend all day 100% engaged with my kids, is a luxury only available to us in modern times. And I am not trying to be ungrateful for that. I am so grateful for the conveniences of our modern times and for the flexibility and options that gives us in our role. But I think we've lost sight of what normal life has been for the majority of history. And that while mothers have been doing the daily necessities of life, children throughout history, after their chores and duties are done, have been free to exercise independent play, expand their imagination, roam around and explore, learn through experience. And although our children truly enjoy time with mommy, those things that I just listed are much more effectively done when they're not 100% zoned in on mommy. Kids throughout history had the opportunity to learn real life throughout the day, instead of seeing mommy just play with them all day and thinking that's all there is to it, not realizing all that we do after they go to bed and before they get up and during their nap time and all that. They just see us hang out with them throughout the day. Whereas throughout history, the kids not only participated with their parents in the work, but then even when they weren't doing that, they were seeing their parents working. They were seeing how much it took to keep the home going. They were seeing real life. That life isn't easy, that keeping a home going isn't easy, that fulfilling the role as husband or wife, mother and father is not easy, but it's so fulfilling, and even the hard work of it is a blessing. Also, children throughout history had the opportunity, as I said, to do these chores and tasks with their parents or independently alongside their parents. And so they just learn the skills of life. How many kids today, or even young adults, are growing up not knowing how to take care of a home or do some basic independent tasks that simply have not been passed down to them, and they never had the opportunity to learn. And I've kind of already mentioned this, but children throughout history also had the opportunity to learn the skill of self-entertainment, which is not just a convenient skill to give mommies a break from entertaining their children. It is a vital skill to learn as they are expanding their imagination and their creativity, as they are learning to think outside the box and how to fill their time in the new areas that they will learn to explore and thrive because they are doing it on their own. Also, children throughout history were given the opportunity to learn social skills, communication, compromise, good interaction with other kids, conflict resolution. Because their mothers were not just scrolling on their phones or having idle time, they were living life. They were doing necessities. And so the kids could not constantly bicker and have fights and go to the mom and be like, so-and-so poked me, so-and-so took my toy, because they knew their mom had to get done the necessities of life, or dinner wouldn't be on the table, or the home would not continue, or the food would not go into storage for winter. I mean, these were necessities of life. Clothes would not be clean for the next week. And then also, kids throughout history had the opportunity to learn independence, personal responsibility, ownership of their duties, and a recognition that if they did not take personal responsibility and independently get these things done, they weren't getting done because Ma and Pa didn't have the time to do anyone else's tasks. Their time was booked up with their tasks. So if this home were to continue running well, everyone had to independently take personal responsibility for the tasks that they'd been given. Now, I'd like to take a minute to ask, of the generation growing up today, do you feel like any of them could have used some work in these areas? So then this might be a good area for us to focus on with our kids. So I would say not only do we not need to give 100% interaction and attention through play with them throughout the day, but I would say that we need to not do that. That it is damaging to them if we do. Our young children's minds are wired to explore, but when we give them either screens or ourselves all day long, they don't have to explore in order to find something to occupy their time, in order to feel like something fun and exciting is going on. It's kind of like giving their brains a crutch, because ultimately our kids are going to be seeking entertainment. But when entertainment through us or through screens is just handed to them, they don't have to seek it anymore. But I think we underestimate how much the seeking of it is vital for the growth of their brains and their imagination, their creativity, and their ability to grab life and pursue it, their ability to learn, their ability to comprehend life. So again, I feel like I need to put in all of these clarifiers. I'm not saying we need to go to one end of the extreme or the other. Again, even in the Little House on the Prairie times, they had quality family time every single evening. Now, granted, it was because they didn't have electricity and the sun was down, but I think the sun going down could be a great way for God to say, enough. Let's calm down. The work of the day is done. Let's have some recover and rest time, some bonding time, family time, quiet time together. For us in our home, I do outings with our kids all the time. Obviously, I do school with our kids. We do read alouds throughout the day. And I do try to be intentional throughout the week to do some board games with them, or build some puzzles, or build some blocks with my littles. But also, we need to step back and realize that, kind of like with sleep, our kids don't want to go to bed because there's more fun things they want to do, but they need to go to bed. And once they go to bed and go to sleep, their bodies will be grateful for it, and they'll enjoy the next day more for it. If your kids have not had a lot of independent play and tend to be somewhat clingy to you, always asking you to come join them or watch them or interact with them, even though you've already given them plenty of time, then it might be time to push them towards learning to self-entertain. And that's going to be a hump to get over, but everyone's going to be better off for it in the end. And so to help you more in the realistic how to make that transition, I would like to suggest that you click on the link below for the Overwhelmed Mommy Club. In that club, it's $7 a month, includes a 10-module course. And throughout that course, I communicate how to work this transition with your kids, from helping them to get a good night's sleep, which will set them up well for self-entertainment the next day, how to teach them to get involved in chores and to do their own independent chores that they can do first thing in the morning and throughout the day. And then during times when you need to focus on something, how to gradually transition them from all ages onto independent play, developing that skill and that joy. It gets to the point where now I can say, all right, I need to go take care of XYZ. And I don't even have to say, so what are y'all going to do? Or do I need to get down this or set you up with this? They just hear, all right, mommy needs to go do this. And they start playing school together, or putting together a puzzle together, or pulling down some Lincoln logs from up on the shelf and building something together. They know how to flip into the we need to self-entertain mode, and they do it like a pro because of practice. And that whole time they're using their imagination to come up with the games, to build the new structures, to figure out, the puzzles or the games that they're working on. They're also interacting. There's 4 kids here, 8 and under, that are interacting and having less and less strife, less and less arguments, and are learning it's not like they just don't get frustrated with each other anymore. They're learning how to resolve those frustrations, how to consider the other person, how to communicate their thoughts in a more effective way. These are just invaluable skills that they would not have learned if I had not backed up, retaken my responsibilities as mother, that spending 100% present time with my children is not my only responsibility as a mom. If the home is lacking, or the food is lacking, or my marriage is lacking, or the business is lacking because I'm only spending time with my children, then that's going to be harming my children as well. So if you want me to help you walk through exactly how to do this transition, click on the link below. Joining the club is only $7 a month. It comes with the course. It comes with a Facebook group, members only Facebook group, where you can interact with moms on the same journey, post questions, comments, concerns. And then it also comes with a members only podcast where I will do Q&A, address the concerns, questions, whatever it is, on the Facebook group. And and also do a deep dive training in whatever area I see a struggle. So join today, $7 a month. Can't wait to see you on the other side. But after you join, the next video I would suggest you watch should be popping up here on the screen, and it is why moms don't need to be tired. If you're exhausted, you fit into that mommy cliche of I haven't slept since my child was born, I can help you with that. So check out that video. And remember, I'm always here if you need me. Bye.